Hello.
Hello?
Hello. What's up, bro?
Welcome to the WUBro podcast with Saenz, Mike Mercadal, and Mike Valdez. We talk movies, sports, pop culture, and it's funny, bro. The way Harvey Dent didn't realize it was a Joker, and the Joker took his mask, his little surgical mask off. Like, it's like he has the face painting, he has the face paint, but he has a surgical mask on. And the moment he takes the surgical mask on, he's like, wait a minute, you're the Joker? And it's like, wait, what? You couldn't tell it was the Joker because of the surgery. And that one little reel or TikTok ruined their, I can never take it seriously anymore.
Welcome to the party, pal!
And my parents, I swear to God, my parents look at this like when a character from Chicago Fire comes into Chicago PD, dude, that's like Spider-Man being in an Iron Man movie. It is insane.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah!
I'm just glad I like vanilla, boring sex like this. I'm glad that the sex I enjoy won't get me killed.
I want my money's worth. Come on.
That's how winning is done.
Hey, I'm Dave Chappelle, and this is What's Up, Bro.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the What's Up, Bro podcast. My name is Mike Mercadal. With me, as always, is
Saenz.
I'm going to go back and listen. You say I'm hot on the mic. Get in the comments. Am I visible? Am I audible? Everybody, if you're watching this live or seeing this later, get in the comments. Why not? Tell us how you feel. My name is Mike Mercadal. This is the What's Up, Bro podcast, the only podcast asking the question, what's up, bro? And to that, I say, what's up, bro, Neri? Where's Mike Valdez today?
He's out on assignment.
He's on assignment.
Yeah, man, he's on assignment. Very, very happy for him. I think he's trying to decide which career path he's gonna take because the Walmart ad is blowing up. And he's going, yeah. He's doing it. He's doing it.
Yeah, he's doing it and doing it well. He's LL Cool J-ing, as we say.
LL Cool J, yeah.
He's LL Cool J-ing it as we speak on assignment. We can't say anything else, right? We can't talk about anything else.
Yeah, we can't say anything else. Everything else is a hush hush.
Speaking of hush hushes and NDAs, San Diego Comic-Con happened. We got to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff, but I was sad. It was like a sad Comic-Con. Do you remember right before COVID?
What?
They announced
why was it a sad Comic-Con?
Didn't it feel like not a lot going on for the Marvel? I'll say this. The Marvel panel was like disappointing, we'll say. Did you follow it, or were you? Yeah, I don't know why. I felt like it was like interesting, but nothing. Like, I think this is also the part of like when the iPhone announcements happened back in the day that you didn't hear anything about it. It was super secret, and then they announced it, and it was like this big thing. Everything that came out today that we already knew, except for the Ghost Rider thing. Except for the Ghost Rider.
Yeah, Ghost Rider was a big deal, and then Ghost Rider was a big deal, and then the news of like they casted the new T'Challa, and that was a big deal. I thought.
I feel like
we're not gonna have Shuri, you know.
I will say I'm kind of glad about that. I'm happy to have.
I'm very glad about that because I just
I feel like there was a lot of like I feel like I hope. God, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but it's basically that feeling of like I lost interest in so much of that Marvel stuff, and I literally had a podcast called Mike Contextualizes the Universe where I go through the entire Marvel MCU through Endgame, and then afterwards I was like, man, I've lost so much interest. I'm excited for Spider-Man. I'm gonna go see Spider-Man this weekend, but it's like I feel like it feels like. Someone said the San Diego Comic-Con was a recession indicator. Why are you tapping the screen?
I'm getting rid of closing other tabs to see if because you were coming in robotic. So I was closing other
Oh.
tabs to see if that helps.
Hey, get in the
Um,
comments. How's the audio? Just basically comment for engagement. I hope it comes out. I've never had better internet. My internet is so powerful right now. Maybe it's a StreamYard thing.
I haven't had faster internet in the ocean, so that's my caveat. Is in the ocean, this is pretty
Yes.
fast internet. So
For the fact that we could do this is a miracle of modern technology.
yeah,
But yeah, go ahead.
it really is. But I was gonna say is I don't know, man. I thought I was getting updates on the Comic-Con. I will say I've lost interest in the MCU as a whole, but that goes back to everything we've talked about in the past and previous episodes about just the too many shows, everything is connected, and I just kind of got tired of it, of like having to watch. I gotta watch 2 seasons of this to be able to know what's happening in this movie, and like it just got a bit too much. Even for me, which was a diehard fan, like when it was just movies, I was like, yeah, I could watch 30 movies because I'm watching them two at a time, two at a time, and But when it got to the TV shows, I was like, oh, dude, this is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It felt like, like when your mom used to tell you like, come on, come outside, and you're like, I don't want to go outside right now. I just want to play video games. And you're like, come outside, you'll have fun. And even if you did ultimately have fun, you still like, I gotta put my shoes on. I gotta like that's how I felt. I felt that. I feel like that with the MCU.
With the MCU, I feel like it became. We're bringing moms into this. It feels like when someone would try to describe to you like a soap opera, like where they're like, "Oh yeah, this is that person's evil twin" or something, and then you're like, "What?" They're like, "No, I thought it was this character." Like too many things. Like literally to watch Brand New Day that comes out this weekend, you would have to know a whole lot, like a whole lot of stuff would have had to.
I think you just have to watch the last Spider-Man. I was having this conversation with my friend Missy, and she was like, "What could I?" I'm like, I think you just have to watch the last Spider-Man movie, whatever that was, and you'll be fine, right?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think you have that same leeway for the stuff that was announced at Comic-Con. Right, like the average person has not like even there are people who are weren't alive and to be able, like all the kids watching the Marvel stuff now. If it is for kids, like again, it's like who are they making these things for, right? Like what is the audience? Is it for everybody? Stuff. How can everybody go into Doomsday and be like, yeah, I get it. There's too many layers. Like when Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine came out, you would have had to. It was like a reward for having been a nerd for 20 years. You know what I mean? Since the 90s, it was like to get the Channing Tatum as Gambit reference. Like you had to be. That was an inside baseball ass thing.
I remember I saw Deadpool versus Wolverine the day it came out, and I was in Ireland filming the show The Floor.
Yeah.
And then when I got home a few days later, I forced my son to watch the Fantastic Four movies for the reason of like I need him to understand who the fuck this is, because he would have not understood that Chris Evans is a Human Torch. So like I had to force him, and man, he did not want to watch that movie. He's like, this movie is not like he didn't say the words. He did not say the words. The movie's not good, but he was like, but he just kept getting up. I'm like, dude, I need you to sit down. And like, I was like, I need you to just watch it. And then it's so funny because I was like, I had to like, without spoiling it, I'd be like, this is going to be in the Deadpool Wolverine movie that we're going to watch in 2 hours. Like, I need you to fucking sit down and watch this. So I couldn't spoil it for him, but I had to like make sure he watched it. And I remember when we were watching Deadpool and Wolverine, and then the dude turns into the Human Torch. He turns to me, he goes, "Is that why you were making me watch that?" And I was like, "Yes, that's why I was making you watch that."
I think the novelty of a cinematic universe has worn off. I think they jumped the shark on the cinematic universe. I think Endgame should have been the end game. I think that at a certain point, the whole again, knowing some of the business stuff behind the scenes is why it went bad. And now seeing them try to like recover from it is like, Kevin Feige was being interviewed and he's like, I feel like a loser for not being able to make Blade, like for fumbling Blade. And I'm like, you should. That's like an easy one.
Yeah.
That was an easy
Yeah.
one. That was like a gimme, and you fucked it up. Like,
you had a slam dunk. You really did. You had a slam dunk,
right?
And you had it perfectly casted. You had it like, if it wasn't gonna be Wesley Snipes, you had it perfectly casted, and he really did fumble that one. Like, I don't comprehend. I don't understand. And he has the entire Hollywood to play with, to choose from. You couldn't get anybody to write a Blade movie. Like, that's really like, I find that very difficult to fucking believe. You know, like, I don't.
Here's what I think.
Yeah,
happened.
he should. I
think what happened is that he can't say the fucking money people were trying to do too much and getting and you know, they were trying to demand certain things that are just like not realistic, or they're the reason why we're in this position to be. Like, I think he can't, because I don't think he would. I don't know if he wants to. He seems like he doesn't want. Like, he doesn't want to make a. Nobody wants to make a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like when you're making this,
you don't want to make
the money people. Thing. The money people don't care if it's good or bad if it makes money. You know what I mean? Like
right.
There's plenty of bad stuff out there that makes money. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, what are you gonna do? Like, so I'm sure he was just like, oh, they wanted to include, like, when they I don't even know the character. Who was Jon Snow playing in the Eternals or whatever that they throw him in at the end? Oh, Black Knight, right? Like, just too much.
Was it Black Knight?
Yeah, and
man, you know, I gotta be so. You know, we talk about this all the time on this podcast about like not saying things are good or bad, but saying things like I like things and I don't like this or whatever. Yeah. I'm gonna say something that nobody agrees with, and I get it. I'm on an island by myself, and I'm totally fine with it. But I don't care about the Spider-Man movies. I just don't care. I haven't liked the last two Spider-Man movies. I just didn't like them. And I will say the same thing I say about the Spider-Man movies I say about the Batman, the Robert Pattinson Batman. I just didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. And here's the worst part about all of these movies. The worst part about my opinion about these movies is I cannot express to you why I don't like these movies. I don't know. I have taken a hard look at myself. I've taken a hard look at these movies and be like, what is it that I don't like about the movie? I can't complain about the acting. I can't complain about the directing. I can't. The Batman has some of the best cinematography I've seen in a movie, in a superhero movie.
Great.
Like, it fucking looks amazing. I saw it in theaters opening weekend. I did not like it then. Then I have tried without exaggeration, Mike, throughout the years since it's come out.
I believe
I have tried on five separate occasions, tried to rewatch the Batman, have not been able to fucking finish a single one after the original movie theater viewing. Like, I have not been able to finish a single viewing, and I've tried on 5 different occasions. Okay, I'm gonna try, and then I just I wanted, like, Rogue One is a movie that I saw in theaters opening weekend 3 times on opening weekend, and I was feeling like about it. Like, I remember saying like, I need more fucking lightsabers in my Star Wars movies, and I get it. I'm not a diehard Star Wars fan, so I know that that's such a hack thing to say and feel. But then throughout the next year and a half, I rewatched Rogue One a couple times, and I was like, man, this really is a fucking good movie. I just had to get out of my own way. I just had to get out of my own way of what I wanted from a Star Wars movie. And like because I wanted lightsabers and I didn't get lightsabers, I was like, meh. But then the moment I just got over that, I'm like, hey, there's not going to be any lightsabers. So just fucking go with it. It really is a really fucking great movie. And it's probably one of my favorite Star Wars movies is Rogue One. But again, that's an opinion that I formed after multiple viewings, after the original viewing, after my original opinion. I've tried to do that with the Batman. I tried to do that with the Spider-Man movies. And Homecoming I loved Homecoming. I thought Homecoming was great. With Michael Keaton was fucking phenomenal. And then I don't care. Like the rest of the other Spider-Man movies, I saw them and I'm like, I wish I still had that excitement. I wish I still had that to to throw up Mike Valdez on this one. I wish I still had that childlike wonder when it comes to Spider-Man movies, and like I wish I was like that with there was a time, remember there was a time, Mike, where no matter what came out, if it was superhero related, we're like, we're fucking in. Let's go. This
like
is
we're
amazing.
gonna see it.
This is awesome. And now we're just like, meh.
Here's the thing. Tinfoil hat, anti-capitalist, they ruined it. They ruined it by trying to, everything is like, we're getting squeezed for every last drop. I literally just signed, I genuinely got sad about how I don't see things in the movies anymore. And I signed up for Stubbs A-List, right? Which is the movie, the AMC movie pass version where you get to go do all that stuff. Because if you go to the movies twice in a month, that's like the cost of the A-List. Genuinely, I'm like, it makes sense. And I want to go to the movies. I want to go see things in the movies. So I'm going to go see Brand New Day. I got my ticket for free, and I'm paying for my wife's ticket. I have time during the week to go to the movies. I'm going to go watch the random shit because I want that experience again. I'm trying to recapture it.
Sure.
But then you go look and see what's being offered at the movie theater, and you're like, oh, they're not making. Do you like? That's the thing, is that the childlike wonder we had was because we had things to have childlike wonder for, right? Like there was non-stop movies coming out. Like every weekend, regardless, there was always like some movie coming out that was amazing, or some TV show that everybody was obsessed with and would talk about. Like there was stuff to be excited about, and now it's just like they like tried to. I just watched Werewolf by Night again. That's one of those things that it's a mid-budget thing that could have come out in the theaters. They could have made that a movie and it would have been good. Like I just watched the Punisher thing, and I did not like it.
I haven't. So I was trying to catch up on. I stopped watching the Punisher. Like with one episode left of season 2, right back when it was on Netflix. So I had to rewatch.
Russian bad guy? It was a Russian bad guy in that season 2.
I don't remember. Were you in the gym? Were you got beat up in the gym?
No, I was. I was a distraction. They rewrote the whole thing. But he was supposed to come into like a head shop, like a marijuana store, and it's like,
he did.
Yeah, and I'm there with a gun. Yeah.
All right. So I'm trying to rewatch that just to catch up to the latest season of Punisher, because I never finished watching the second season because it was on Netflix, and then Netflix canceled it, and I was like, well, why am I gonna fucking finish this if it's gonna get canceled? But I will say, you and I both love Wonder Man. We love Wonder Man.
Wonder Man was fantastic.
That was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, Wonder Man was fantastic. Again, another take that nobody has. I like the Eternals. I know it's fucking weird. I had no information about the Eternals coming in. I didn't know anything about the Eternals before watching.
I didn't mind the Eternals.
I thought the movie was, and that movie gets, dude, comic book movie fans fucking hate the Eternals. They hate that movie.
They are genuinely like it slept with their mom, and it was like they are pissed. They do not like it.
Yeah, they
at all.
Mad.
And I don't get it, man. I really
they get aggressive. They get aggressive when you tell them, like, hey, I fucking movie. I'm like, oh my god, Jesus.
At a certain point, I didn't know. Yeah.
At a certain point,
it's about you. At a certain point, like that's why all of this shit about like the internet, again, this is the thing where like I'm not as excited about it because I can't. Anytime you go to try and engage online, like have a conversation about like, oh hey, I like someone post a video of something that they're excited for, a picture of something, and they're like, oh man, yeah, I really like this part of it, like, and they're like, yeah, but this other part sucks. And it's like, hey, does that make you feel good? Does that make you like? You don't have to. Yeah. You don't have to do that. Like you could just
let
like,
people enjoy things. Just let people enjoy things. It's a weird. Again, our algorithms. We've talked about this is very different. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I get excited over movies. I want to see movies in movie theaters. I haven't seen The Odyssey. I want to see that.
It's a good one.
But
there's
you know, there's still movies to watch. I guess I don't know, man.
The thing is that
But
it's usually
I'm at a weird point where I'm able to go to movie theaters so rarely
Right.
that by the time I go to a movie theater, by the time I have the opportunity to go to a movie theater, there's usually something to watch. So you have it the other way around, where you're like, I could go every day, but there's not enough to go every day.
Well, there's enough to make it worth my while to be able to go the times that I go, right? Like I want to go see stuff in the theater. I miss, and I'll tell you why, because I've been adjusting to ADHD medication, right? Like they diagnosed me and they gave me meds, and I was like, I don't need it. Turns out I do. Like I was just gonna write it out. For the record, I have been cast in a play, and I have to learn lines. I got cast in a very old Spanish play. The Don Juan is that archetype comes from a play from this guy back in the 1600s, 1700s, I think. And it's old. The play is in Spanish and in old Spanish, right? So it's not even like proper Spanish where I have to use the word platicar or whatever instead of hablar. It's not even that. It's like Spain Spanish, estáis, vosotros, and like Shakespeare rhyme and meter. Like it's hard.
Oh boy.
And I've been is not, it's rough. And I'm there trying to memorize my lines because I'm a king. I have to sound real. I want to be good. And I'll start reading and I'm like, oh no, my TV is there, my phone is here, my computer is there, the PlayStation. Like every distraction and every other thing I could be doing enters my mind. So I feel that way. Like I need to be given the guardrails that you would give the kids when they're bowling for every experience in my life. And to watch a movie and to care about it, I need to go to the theater and have it just be the only thing I'm doing. I did
that recently. I did that recently with my daughter. I introduced her to Rocky, and I started with Rocky 1. And as we all know, Rocky 1 is a slower paced movie, right? It's a drama. It's a slower paced movie. And, you know, my daughter's 14 and 14-year-olds gonna 14-year-olds, right? And I literally maybe 10 minutes into the movie, I took away her phone and she's like, but I'm not even looking at it. I'm like, you keep looking at it to see if you get a message. So it's not that you're looking at it. It's that the anticipation of like something happening with your phone. So I told her, I'm just going to hold on to it for the movie. And we had a very great viewing. Like this is one of the most fun I've had as a parent. Like that didn't cost me money. You know what I mean? Because you have fun. No, because you could. I mean, that's a
very good caveat.
Because because you can spend a lot of money and go to Disney World and be like, yeah, did you have a good time? Yeah, I had a great time. And it's like I spent $3,000. I should have a fucking phenomenal time, right? Like, but so like we sat on the couch and I introduced her to Rocky, and my daughter. This is why it's a great time, because she was like, unbeknownst to my daughter, cannot not share an opinion. If she has an opinion, if she has an opinion, if she has a question, she's gonna ask it out loud. She's like, "What's happening? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that?" And it's like, just shut the fuck up and just watch the movie, right? But it turns out that these are really good questions that she asked, like in the opening scene of Rocky, where they're in that church and he's having that boxing match where he ends up beating that guy, beating up Spider, whatever his name was. He gets out of the ring and bums a cigarette from somebody. He's like, "Hey, you have a cigarette?" And they gave him one and he starts smoking. And my daughter was like, "He's a boxer and he's smoking? That doesn't make any sense."
Interesting.
And then I was like, nice, here we go. So I was like, okay. I was like, well, what? And I paused it. And then it turned into like a mini film study where I was like, okay, what does that tell you? She's like, what do you mean? I go, well, if he's a boxer, you see him boxing and he's smoking, what does that tell you? And she's like, I don't know. And I was like, is that good for you? She's like, no, it's not good for you. I'm like, should athletes be doing that? She's like, no. And I'm like, so what does that tell you? She's like, I don't think he's taking this seriously. I'm like, okay, now here we go. So she's like learning about film, being able to dissect a film and being able to like look at a film.
Like, what are they trying to tell you? Everything is intentional. Everything shows you something.
Everything is intentional. Everything, they're trying to tell you something. They don't just spoon feed you like you're not. You know what I mean? They don't have to spoon feed
Yeah.
you. If you look at things, you could kind of gather different people's characters and personalities, and so all of the stuff. I'm not saying any of this. I'm happy that she's asking these questions.
Right.
So we started doing that, and we started watching this, and watching the training montage. The first time before the training montage, where he first runs up the steps and he couldn't even make it up the steps without stopping, and she's like, why is he stopping? And I was like, well, why do you think he's stopping? He's like, because he's tired. I go, why do you think he's tired? He's like, because he's smoking and drinking and he's not taking it seriously. I'm like, here we fucking go, let's go. So like all of these things are happening during this, but I was able to do all of that, and she was able to focus on that because I took away her phone. Like I had to physically take away the guardrails that you're talking about. By the way, I needed that too because I kept looking at my phone, and when I took away her phone and she started asking these questions, her asking these questions and her talking about this might put my attention onto that. Like, okay, I could put away. Now I'm focused on this, and it was it was a great conversation and great time showing her this movie because, and I knew I had her. Because she got up to go to the bathroom and she goes, pause it. She asked me to pause it.
Yes. Yeah.
And
that's
I was
when
like,
you know.
there you go. Yeah. So
That's
we came back, and then I remember going up the rocky steps. I was like, hey, by the way, these steps are now really famous. And she goes, oh, those are famous steps? I go, but they're famous because of this movie. She's like, what?
Because
and I was like, yeah, people. I go, this movie, this right here, what you're watching right now is the reason why millions and millions of people every year run up. They go to Philadelphia for these steps. And she's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, yeah.
Right.
And so I had to, I was able to give her like behind the scenes and stuff like that. I was able to, give her like I don't want to say director's commentary because I'm not a director, but trivia that I know, movie trivia that I know about this movie. I was able to give her that while she was watching it for the first time, and she like loved it. She was like, "Yeah, it was good." She's like, "This is good."
And I was like, I just want to pause just to say, Yolanda's in the chat for engagement. I remember when we could afford to go to the movies. Yes, that was a nice time. And when your daughter talks and can't keep a thought inside, she says, "I wonder where she gets that from."
I know.
I learned. It's like that PSA from I learned it from watching you. So
here's the thing. I never shut her up. I just in my head I'm just like, oh, here we go. Like I never like stop her from talking. I never stop her from asking questions. I'm just like like I get it. I totally get it.
One of the most cliche things, my wife. I'm not going to do those like boomery jokes like about my wife where I can play about my wife. But one of the most cliche things that my wife does, Chiquita for the record, is she will ask a question while we're watching something that neither one of us has watched before. So we are both watching for the first time. She's like, "Who's that?" And I'm like,
"Yeah,
my love, I don't know."
Yeah.
I'm sure the rest of the movie will give us some information. We have to keep going. She's like, "Pause it." And then she'll say something. And I'm like, "Please, we have to get through this. We have to continue."
I think she's perfect for a podcast because she could just she's perfect for podcast viewing because she's what does that mean? It's like, well, let's talk about it because I guess I had that conversation with both my wife and my daughter when I showed them the movie, and I think I talked about this on the podcast before, but I showed them both the movie of Project Hail Mary.
Yeah.
And as the movie starting, like the opening, I forget if it's Universal or Warner Brothers, but whatever. Before that logo came up, I paused it and I was like, and I said, "Hey, there's gonna be a lot. You guys are gonna have a lot of questions." And I literally said, "Just know they're gonna explain everything throughout the movie, but there's gonna be a lot of like, who's that? What's happening? What's going on? There's gonna be a lot of that because a lot of the movies played a flashback." But it's going to explain everything.
It's going to jump around. It's going to jump around. Stick with it.
I didn't even say jump around. I said you're going to have a lot of questions. There's going to be a lot of what's going on, what's happening, who's this, why is he there, why is he this. Just know that all your answers are going to be answered. All your questions are going to be answered. That's what I said. I'm talking about like 4 seconds before the opening scene of the movie.
Yeah.
I press play. First scene of the movie.
What's going
on? There's a Ziploc bag. There's a zipper. He opens up. He starts breathing heavy. my daughter without hesitation, "What's going on? Why is he there?" Jesus Christ. Fucking God, like
Yep.
it's been 30 seconds that I said, "Hey, all your questions will be answered in time. Please.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
love
get
that
it.
movie
You know,
too.
it is what it is.
Yolanda freaking loves that movie. That's like a good. So, um, because of that movie, my wife and we watched The Martian, which is every once in a while I need to watch a movie where people are smart and good at things.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you just want to watch, and there's a
Yeah.
word for it. That's why The Pit is really popular. It's called competency porn, where people are good at solving problems, right? Where they are doing something happens and they fix it. Something happens and they fix it. And every once in a while, I just need to watch it. Perfect movie for Project Hail Mary. Perfect Project Hail Mary is the perfect movie for that.
Can I tell you that I say this all the time, and I mean this both in fictional situations like TV and movies and in real life. I love watching people be good at their fucking job. Like I fucking love that. One of my favorite, I'm a huge fan of The Office, as we both are. One of my favorite all-time scenes in The Office is when Michael Scott creates the Michael Scott Paper Company, and they have that meeting with Wallace, where they go, like they're trying to buy him out, and Michael Scott says, "I don't think I have to wait. I don't think I have to be profitable. I think I just have to wait you out because the next shareholders meeting is coming up. And if I'm a problem, you're going to be out." And like that scene where the bumbling idiot that we've seen for years be a bumbling idiot is like, when he focuses, he's actually really good at his fucking job. Yeah. And I love that scene, and it's just exactly what you're talking about. I love watching people, and it's true in real life too. Like there are times where I've been in situations where I'll do radio or something, and I'll go to the radio stations, and I'll see people like behind the scenes handle the board and handle and they pull up. They're really good at producers are really good at putting up sound cues and do all this shit. And I'm watching them do all of this while they're able to still talk on the mic and blah blah. I'm like, geez, man, fucking you go, bro. I love that shit. I'm like, fucking hey, you are killing it. You are killing it at this job.
That's why I loved being able to be that guy. Because in the hospital, I was that was a huge deal. Like when you know what that's such a good feeling.
Yeah,
to be like
it's such a good feeling.
To go back around to the play, one of the reasons why I am need the guardrails is because it's hard, and I'm not used to failing as an adult. As an adult, you do the things that you're good at, and you stay away from the things that you fail, because failure feels bad, and we're not as used to failing as like when you're a kid, right? Like when you're a kid, we'd all still be crawling. We'd also we would have never learned to walk. We would have, you just persist through failure way more than you do as an adult. And now when something's a little bit hard or something is tricky, it feels bad. And I'm like, ugh, I don't like not knowing my lines, or I don't like not knowing how to use vosotros, And then it makes me not want to do it.
Yeah. So I'm like I feel really confident about my abilities as a comedian, right?
Yeah.
And when I'm working I work 90% on one particular cruise line, right? And on that cruise line that I work, we do shows every day for the most part. And again, I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just relating to what you're talking about,
dude. To talk good about yourself, we all need that.
Every day that we do shows, I do a different set. And the sets are 25 minutes, bro. They're not anything special. They're 25 minutes. But whatever jokes I told on Monday, I'm not telling again on Tuesday. I'm doing a different 25-minute set. Again, we are not obligated to do so. Like contractually, we are not obligated to do so as the performers. In fact, they a lot of times will tell you on paper, like, hey, do not promote different shows. And it's for a variety of reasons. But the main reason is they don't want the 300 people who are in the room on Monday, they don't want them to try to have to come back on Tuesday and get turned down because there's no space for them, because that creates complaints. Like, hey, the comedian told me it was going to be a different show. And so if the audience believe that it's going to be the same show on Tuesday than it was on Monday, then they won't even try to go. So then there's less complaints to customer service, right?
Right.
And that's what they're trying to avoid is the amount of complaints. But with that said, they're not stopping you from doing different material. They just don't want you to promote different material. So I do a different show every single day. So if we do shows 6 days a week, right? It's a 7-day cruise. If we're doing shows 6 days a week, because we have one night off, I would do 6 different 25-minute sets, right? Throughout the week.
That's a lot, dude.
That's a lot. Here's the thing. Every other comic that I work with, they don't do that. Every other comic that I work with will play around with maybe a total of 40 minutes where they'll mix and match throughout the week. So some of them do the exact same 25 minutes every single time without fail, every single time.
Yeah.
A lot of them do that. Most of them do that. Some of them have like 40 minutes where they'll mix and match and blah, blah, blah. And so it won't be the exact same set every day, but after 3 days, it's kind of you've heard all the material.
Right.
I say all of this to say what you were talking about, like the fear of failing. I'm working on a cruise line right now. I'm on a different cruise line than I normally work, right? This cruise line, your shows are 40 minutes and you're the only comic. So there's no like handoff. There's no like, I'm going to do 25 and I'm bringing up the next guy. It's your show. So if it's 8 o'clock show, if you have the 8 o'clock show, you're going from 8 o'clock to 8:40. And last week I did 7 shows. This week I'm doing 8 shows and they're 40 minutes. And I'm a type of guy that I usually don't even have set list. I don't have a set list. I just go, I'm up. On Monday, I did jokes ABC. On Tuesday, I'm doing jokes D.
You're getting up there.
EFG.
You're not improvising, but you are feeling out the vibe for your material.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, now with 40-minute sets, that's not something you could really do. And let me rephrase that. That's not something I could really do. With 40-minute sets, I got to plan out like, okay, especially when I'm doing
stuff.
4 PG shows that I can't curse and 4 adult shows.
Oof.
So now I'm doing 8 shows that are each 40 minutes long. And so I love that so much. Like I feel alive. Like this last week and this week, it's great because the stress of like, okay, what did I do last week?
No,
what did I do?
I get it.
What did I do today? Like that challenge. And it's so funny because I talked to other comedians on that other cruise line who was like, oh, how do you like such and such? I'm like, dude, 40-minute sets. I feel like a real comic. I'm like super excited. And they're like, yeah, that's too much. I don't want to do that. And I'm like, oh, am I the weird one? Because I fucking love. And they're like, oh yeah, but don't you get scared? I'm like, dude, I get fucking so scared because I'm going from doing 25 minutes to doing 40.
So
and you, Mike, as a fucking performer, it's a huge fucking difference.
Yes.
Like 25 minutes from 25 to 40 is massive. It's not just a matter of like, oh, just do 2 shows at once. It's like, no, you got to play with fucking themes and fucking timing and changing and callbacks. And I'm like, it's not the same. It's not just doing 2 shows back to back. It's
hard to explain the rush of. So the first time I ever did like a 45-minute set was at some random bar in Naples, right? And and it was like, and you tell anybody, any comedian knows that like that's death, dude. That's hard, man. These random little bar shows for 45 minutes is a lot.
Yeah.
It's so I remember writing down every bit that I had, whether it was thought out, whether it was, I literally had to plan. When I tell you, I was scared. I did a variety but it forces you to find, like, adapt your thinking. Like, this is one of those things where, like, it bothers me now how, like, you do a lot of crowd work because that's good content to share, because of course it is, right? Like, improvise.
But I don't. That's the thing. I don't do a lot of crowd work. I just post crowd work. But
exactly. I was going to get to that.
I do maybe 5 minutes. If it's a 25-minute show, I do maybe 5 minutes of crowd work. I just, as somebody, if you would only to know my material based upon my social media, yes, you're like, oh, this guy does a lot of crowd work. Right. Like, but each of those times I'm doing, 90% material. I just do that.
No. I was going to, so what I'm saying is that, that's what you post. But the reality is you have to, as a comedian, you have to write material, because everything that people think of as comedy now is that what they see on social media is little chunks of interacting with the crowd, which was what, as an improviser, is easy. That shit is cake. You just you have a you like that's the part where a lot of people talk about crowd work being cheap, like comics who are like crowd work is easy. It's because if you do what you do enough, if you get in front of different audiences enough, if you go with the mindset of being a good performer, an entertainer, that's just cake, right? But when you have to do a constructed bit, and I will tell you, at the end of it, I did very well. Like that, people were like, "Oh my god, that was so funny," and blah 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 blah. If you ask me what I did, I don't really remember. I just know that because I had prepared, put the pieces out, and afterwards, there's this high that you chase, right? There's that feeling of like, yeah, man, I did it. But you only get that high if you were like trying to overcome something. The high is even higher if you're afraid, because when it comes out successful, you're like, oh my God, not only is it successful, but I feel relief and like all those, like I always talk about people, like imagine how good something would be if you tried. Like we were talking about earlier, why say the negative thing, right? Like, oh, this, imagine if you tried for something to be good. It's like, oh yeah, but you're just, people who shit talk that are just afraid of failing. And that's probably because they're not that good. Like that's the reality.
I said this one time, and I remember I was saying this. I was working with an MC in Miami or Fort Lauderdale, wherever it was, and the headliner was Ari Spears, and the MC was a friend of mine, and I'm not gonna mention names, but I remember him telling me like, "Oh, I love doing crowd work," and I said to him, because I know him, I know he's a friend of mine, and I knew that he had not written, at least performed, he had not performed a new actual bit in a long time. So he said to me, man, I love doing crowd work. And I said, okay. And he goes, don't you love doing crowd work? And I go, I love my material, is what I told him. Like that was my way of trying to be out of that conversation. And then he says, yeah, but I love doing crowd work. And I was like, yeah, that's because you don't have any faith in your material, is what I told him. I was very honest with him. Yeah. I was like, that you don't have any faith in your material. You're tired of your material. I go, I'm sure. And I said this as nicely as I could, but I was like, I'm sure you're tired of your material, and I'm sure you're just scared of writing new material or trying out new material. So you get a high out of doing the crowd work because crowd work comes natural to you, which is fine. But that's why you love your crowd work. I love doing my material. In fact, I didn't start doing crowd work on a personal. I didn't start doing crowd work until I started working cruise ships, when they have you doing, at that point, now it's different a little bit. Back then, they would have you doing 15 shows in a week, all for possibly the same people. Because again, it's possible, right? It's not a guarantee that these same people are going to come back every single night, but there is a chance that a lot of people will come back night after night. Yeah. So it wasn't until I started doing 15 shows a week for the same audience that I was like, oh, I'm going to do 25 minutes of material and 5 minutes of crowd work, just to be able to change it up every day, right? Just to be able to do that. Yeah. That's when I started doing crowd work. That was year 13 of me doing stand-up. Like up until then, I was like, I love my material. I'm doing my material, bro. I don't give a fuck. I love my material.
I love that was the thing but I will say there is, I understand. I'm trying to figure out how to explain when I was more heavily doing like, I'll say this. I was a host a lot. Like in Miami, I remember I hosted a weekend, and I loved that vibe of being, I like the host position. Yeah. I think it's a completely different skill than what you're talking about. And maybe that comes from the improv. It's fingers
and thumbs, bro. Every finger is every thumb is a finger, but not all fingers are thumbs.
Exactly.
Every host is a comedian, but not every comedian could be a host. And it's a
fingers and thumbs is such a funny way to put it. But you need them all to go bowling or whatever. The idea being that like they say, like comedians can be good dramatic actors, but not every dramatic actor can be a good comedian.
Most dramatic actors cannot be good comedians.
Yeah.
Did you hear, by the way, that reminds me of that there was that clip that is going viral with Jennifer Lopez having an actor to actor conversation with Robert Pattinson.
Yes. I love that.
Have you seen the clip?
No, which one? I only know that clip of where he talks about method acting, and it's usually only when people are playing.
Yeah. It's the method acting is like I find people who are actors who are method actors are usually just assholes that always are playing the role of assholes. You never hear people like, man, that guy's so nice and that character is so nice and giving. I'm just gonna be a character actor and I'm gonna be a method actor for that person who's for that character who's nice and giving.
Yeah,
Usually,
hold on,
and that's fucking great. It's really great,
Oh.
but that's the way it is. Anyways, I didn't mean to interrupt you with the whole, but a whole job is very different. It's a just different vibe. Yeah,
I remember. So like when I was like literally every week, I would do at least a 2-hour improvised talk show where I hosted and produced and all that stuff. It's all on YouTube. You can go look on. It's all on the Zeros on Heroes. They exist out there. Like there's record of it. Where I was like having to wrangle everything, and I would still, and when I was hosting comedy shows, you have to feel the audience, and I always liked that feeling of like, the split brain. We've talked about this before, where you're doing a rehearsed bit, and it may or may not be landing the way you want it to land, and then one part of your brain is still doing the bit, but the other part is like, okay, I'm going to cut this other part because they don't seem to like this bit, but I need this part that's important for me to get to this next bit. And there's like, it's so hard to explain how when you're crafting bits, it's easier or it's much more intricate than when you're doing crowd work because you're just reacting to the crowd. You're not reacting to the pre-existing notion. And I loved doing that thing where if somebody reacts really strongly to a thing, going straight to them and then use them in the facilitation of a bit that I already have. The audience thinks it's magic. I miss that feeling. I really enjoyed that feeling. I get that a little bit through improv now and through the other acting that I'm doing, where when it's good, it's good. But there's something very, very real about when you're doing it all on your own. It's yours. The material you wrote.
You know what makes me laugh is the fact that you said that improv is easy, and then it's funny to me that you say that because from your point of view, it completely makes sense because you come from an improv background, right?
Yeah.
So you did improv before you did stand up, so your improv muscle has already been working. So when you started stand up, that's what, and some people have that same thing too. Like, oh, I did theater in high school. And it's like, well, then you're already a performer. You've already been used to the stage. So you could, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was the opposite, where I did not riff for a long time. I did not improvise for a long time because I had faith and I really do enjoy my material because my material is very autobiographical. So I did. And so to me, building the muscle for improvisation, that to me took work. And I wouldn't say it was hard. I would say that the writing bits was what came more natural to me. That's the part that came easier to me. Now it's all kind of like all the same. Now we're splitting hairs now at this point. But when I first started. But yeah, man. By the way, I like the fact that we reference your wife as Chiquita. And if anybody has not listened to the podcast when you met her, they wouldn't understand why that was a thing. So
this is MCU. This is the WUBro cinematic universe where you would have had to have listened to thousands of hours of WUBro pod. Like there's thousands of hours, right?
So I would say maybe, right? We do 2 hours a day, 2 hours a week, every week. There's been 400 and something episodes. Yeah, probably. But I remember, so for those of you who don't know, when Mike met his now wife off air, he told me her name, and she, very Latina, has like 3 or 4 different names, 3 or 4 names, not different, but 3 or 4 names. We all have that,
she's a spy, and she has multiple identities and passports that she used to travel.
And so when that happened, I was like, every name was the most Hispanic name that you can think of. Like
it was talking about improv. It was like a raise the stakes game of how Latino the next name would be off of the first. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Yeah. It was like, oh, you think this name's Latino? Wait till you hear the next one.
So then I was like, yeah, Chiquita Banana, I get it. is what I said, and then we kind of just ran with that, and it was fun and lighthearted and whatever. Here's I was doom scrolling the other day, and do you know that there's an app, and man, I wish I could afford it because I tried it and it's hard, it's expensive. But there's an app where it's basically it's TikTok but history, and they teach you history in like little short animated bursts, right? And it's really impressive and really cool, but it's like $50 a month, and I'm like, I'm not fucking paying that.
It's a separate. I thought it was a thing, like a feed, but you're saying it's
it's like an app.
Oh,
it's a whole other app, yeah. But while I'm on Instagram, they were promoting the app, and so they gave like a lesson, and they gave the lesson of, I believe it was Panama? Question mark.
Yeah.
But how, and they do like quasi stick figures, and they show animation about how the government needed money, and they had all this land that nobody was using, and it was very fertile land for, great for fruits and vegetables. And then a company took over it. A company came and bought a bunch and made a deal with the government, and the deal was like, oh, this is good, and this was not a good idea because this was not a good deal. And then the company got more and more successful, grew bigger. They started buying future governments. They started implanting their own people, their own paying off the government, and like corruption at its highest form. And then one guy came and gave back the land, and they started cheating on their taxes. It's all this shit or whatever, blah blah. And then they changed the name of the company from whatever blah 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 to Chiquita, and that's what they call it, that's why they call it a banana republic.
A banana republic.
Holy fuck! And it's such a bad. It was an awful. Like I'm learning all about it.
It led to the 1954 Guatemalan coup d'état. The United Fruit Company. Yeah, this is a real story. This is the part where it's like, all right, I don't know how not to put a tinfoil hat on when you see that in 1954, the United Fruit Company was responsible for overthrowing the Guatemalan government.
And you know why?
Using the CIA.
You know why? Because the government, I swear to God, this is what I learned in the app, because the government bought back the land that the company had bought, because the government bought the land, and you know what they said when they bought all this land? They said, well, this is what the land is worth, and it was like pennies on a dollar.
Yeah.
So the new government regime came in, and it's like, oh, that's how much it's worth. Here you are. They gave them back those pennies, and then gave the land to the people, back to the people.
Yes.
And then the fruit company was like, oh no, that's not gonna work. So then they hired the CIA to come in and kill the regime and murder these people, because the government had the audacity to buy back the land to what the company said was worth. Like, it's such a anyways.
And that's my wife, everybody.
And then so that's how I felt. I'm watching this fucking thing, and I'm learning all about this, and I'm the coup d'etat and da da da. And then and then they changed the name of the company to Chiquita, and I'm like, oh no. Oh no. Like, I was like, no, I gave her that name as a cute, funny. Oh no,
it is a cute, funny Carmen Miranda with the fruit on her head name. It is. It's fine. It's
but
like
also people died.
But also
people were murdered.
Let's. This is the same thing of like when they do land acknowledgements. There's a sketch in Canada. We just like, before we start our show, we just want to make an acknowledgement that this is we are on stolen land. And then some lady's like, oh, should we leave then? And they're like, no, we just want to make an acknowledgement. What do you want me to do with that information? Like, what are we gonna do with that? Yeah, it's like Chiquita. It's like now we refer to my wife as Chiquita to maintain her anonymity. And now it's like, Neri, what do you want me to do with that information? What do you want us to? My wife is responsible for the Guatemalan coup d'etat in 1954.
Well, it's oh my God. So this is my response to most of the things that people tell me is like, did you know? And then they give me all this information. I'm like, I like iPhones. I don't know how to, like, I don't know how to say this,
Look, I'm going to use this as a segue to talk about what we were going to talk about, which is you mentioned at some point we were talking about stuff. San Diego Comic-Con happened. I felt it was a little disappointing. I want, like there's less to be excited. It feels like because of we have not moved past the United Fruit Company overthrowing governments. It's still fucking happening with oil companies in Venezuela. Like it literally just happened. It literally just happened. We have not moved that far. So maybe that's a reason why I'm a little bummed out that
we just forcibly removed the president from Venezuela. That happened.
That just happened
3 months ago. That just happened like 3 months ago.
I don't, and that's the kind of stuff I do need to know about. But then they mask it with a lot of this bullshit that we don't. You mentioned that you wanted to talk about Jake Paul going into the NFL, and I'm like, let's talk about it on the show, sure. But also, like, I would be okay if Jake Paul vanished off the face of the earth, and I never
absolutely.
We know too many things. Why do we need to know all of this?
I brought it up. Here's the reason why. In the producer meeting, I brought it up. Because of how ridiculous it is. He's 29 years old. He's never played football at any kind of a competitive level. And to now make the statement, and he is that kind of, he showed in the past with his boxing and whatever you want to call it, but he's that kind of guy that he really believes, at least I believe that he really believes he can do it. And it's like, what are you fucking talking about? You're 29 years old. You've never been on the football field. And then he had the balls to say, like, I want to be in the NFL, but they're probably going to want to see some tape. So I'll just go to Stanford and be a slot receiver just so I could get some tape. Like, you're going to go to Stanford University?
This is what happens.
Do you think,
okay.
What the fuck is happening?
We need to stop giving stupid people money. We have to stop giving stupid people money.
So much money.
It's literally just because of money. These idiots are making bazillions of dollars a month off of their influencer bullshit, and then they think that this is possible. This is Elon Musk all over again, buying a company and saying, I made this. It's like, no, you did not. You are just paying to play.
So that's why I brought it up, not because I in fact, yes, I'm with you. If he went away and I never heard of him again, I'd be more than happy with it. But just the audacity and the fucking just to be able to say out loud into a microphone, I want to be an NFL, and then he literally said, hey, I just thought about this today. I'm like,
it should be easy. He says it should be easy. He says, and then here I'll share just some of the quotes. I have better hands than them. I'm stronger than them. Jake Paul on why he should play in the NFL. Did play high school football. He spent time playing varsity. Like, don't try and justify this shit to me, Dazen Sports or whatever. Like Dazan, whatever, man. I don't give a shit about this, people. The point is, it's like all the comments are like, first tackle, I'm suing you. You hit me too hard. You know what I mean? Like, none of this, like, look, everything
Mike,
is a shit show.
He did not graduate high school, and he's talking about playing for Stanford University.
He's gonna buy his, but that's the thing. Stanford, so here's another thing. Every university in the country is in crisis for funding because all of this money is drying up because of Trump, right? Like everything is going out of higher education. People are not signing up. Like everybody is in financial crisis. If this guy shows up with a month's worth of his YouTube money, he's gonna get in. They're going to let him in, and they're going to claim some bullshit that, he actually scored very highly on it. Shut the fuck up. I do not believe you. I do not believe you. And that's the thing, is that everybody still thinks that you can just say the entire world used to be based on the merit of somebody's word. I got my word on my balls, and I don't break them for nobody, right? That's how it used to be. There is no word now. If someone's like, hey, it's Tuesday, I'm like, I'm going to look at my phone and make sure that it like fuck you, prove it.
Yeah.
So if this guy ends up in the NFL, he better be good. If he gets to Stanford, I'm like, show me that motherfucker's test. Now that I know a little too much, I want to know all too much. You prove it to me. Fuck you. I don't care anymore. I'm not going to trust, like nobody trusts nobody anymore. Like who cares? Like if someone's like, this concert sold out, I don't believe you. I think as you bought a bunch of fake ass tickets. You heard about that story, right? That a band was doing like a band was doing a show, and their record company, the record label, wanted to say that the show sold out, so they bought out the theater. And then when the band showed up to play, they were like, "Oh man, we're gonna be playing in front of." They put it on the crowd, like they showed up, and there was like 90% of the audience was empty. So you're only shooting your. It's like when we were first starting our podcast, and you'd be like, "Let's download it on a bunch of different devices and different platforms to boost." It's just us. It's like, why don't we just jerk it? Just a circle jerk of fucking everything is just made up now. That's literally the business point of everything.
I remember going to Apple stores. I remember going to Apple stores and downloading our podcast on every laptop from the Apple store.
But it's all circle jerky bullshit. None of it fucking
yes
matters.
And no. Yes and no. Yes and no. Here's why. Yes, it's circle jerky. However, unfortunately, the way it works is, if, let's say, for the example, it's basically data farms, right? If you have one person with 1,000 phones downloading the same podcast, all of a sudden the algorithm goes, "Oh, this must be a popular podcast," and they start promoting it more. They start featuring it on other shit. They start like that's a thing. Unfortunately, that's the truth. So yes, is it a circle jerk? Yes, but can that circle jerk actually get you laid? Yeah, in theory. Not. It has to be a major data farm. It can't be just 5 computers at the Dayland Mall Apple Store. It has to be, 1,000 computers. You know what I mean? It's a whole different thing. But yeah.
Have you seen, when they show the pictures of the data farms in like Indonesia or something like that, where it's like a wall of phones. It's not even computers anymore. It's just a wall of phones.
No, it's all phones.
And
there's every time I see that, I'm like, is there any way to get the link to my stand up there? Like, is there any way to just, hey, can you help me out with this? Just promote one fucking one stand up clip. Let me go viral for stand up, please.
One little thing.
It's a weird vibe. I've posted a couple videos on my YouTube where people are like, "Man, this guy's hilarious. He should be way more famous." And I'm like, "Fuck."
you motherfuckers.
And I'm just like,
ironically, I remember, and it's happening now with Hollywood. Like, I have friends that are writers out here that some of them are. I have a friend that's a movie reviewer, and the movie studios will do influencer screenings because those get more eyeballs than the actual reviewers are actually like previous screenings. And again, because that's how it's like, I forgot what the comedian was, but it's like, we need to stop making products for stupid people. We need to start making products for smart people, and the stupid people need to adapt. Like, that's the way it was like back in the day, where God damn it, I gotta remember the thing. But
it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
It's not. There's no money in it.
Steve Jobs literally had the quote where he says, "I tell them what they want. They don't know what they want. I tell the people what they want." And it's like, people want to be able to design their own keyboard. It's like, they're not gonna do that.
It's like, and then let them go do that somewhere else. The people that will do that somewhere, and I get it. I hate you. I still think my solution for the internet, clip this. I want every platform that allows for private profiles to not allow you to interact with media unless you are friends or whatever. Like if you're a private profile, you all or nothing. I can't see your comments. I can't see your likes. I can't see. Maintain your privacy, because every time you go online and you see some dumbass comment, it's from a private account, and I'm like, immediately I'm like,
you know what made me laugh is the I don't know if you saw this recently, that what's his name? Fucking dumb Tesla guy. What's his name? Elon Musk said that he wants to fund a movie that's an Odyssey movie that's historically accurate.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's historically accurate. The Odyssey.
There's mermaids and a cyclops and giants. Like, shut the fuck up.
It's so stupid. Why? Because Helen of Troy was black in Nolan's movie. God forbid.
Just be racist. Just say
forbid. Just so stupid.
So stupid.
Oh, somebody should make a historically accurate movie, and then Elon Musk replied to that tweet and says, "I'm down." Like, I'm down to fund a historically accurate Odyssey. It's like, you are so fucking. It's bad enough to be racist, but to be stupid and racist, other level, dude. Other
Next
level.
I had a situation where I was having a conversation with someone, and in the middle of the conversation, I could see them realize that they were wrong. Right? Like I could see, there's a moment in a conversation, in an art, like in a discussion, in an argument, where you could, like, somebody is right, like somebody is being swayed by the argument. And
right.
My thing is, I live in reality, man. I'm sorry. I'm addicted to reality. You have to be real with me, right? Where I was watching somebody be wrong, realize they were wrong about something, and it was innocuous. It was something like, oh no, that was actually written by this guy, not this guy. And they're like, yeah, well, I've seen it attributed to, like, I've heard it both ways, kind of thing. But you could see the argument where I'm like,
we're gonna have to agree to disagree. That line.
I'm
bullshit?
like, no, but this. I'm sorry. This is like, we can agree to disagree on opinions. But we can't just and I saw them know that they were wrong, because I was like, oh no, I have the bulk of all of our world's knowledge in this thing in my hand, and I'm like, oh, actually, no, I just looked it up. I'm sorry, it was written by this guy. And they're like, well, when I learned it, I was like, hey man, it's okay to admit you're wrong. Like, just say, oh, you know what? I didn't know that.
It's so mind-boggling to me that people are still. How the fuck can you not just be like, fuck, like, you just doubling down when there's proof in front of you? Like, this is so wild to me.
Yeah.
That people, I don't understand. And when I was a kid, when I was younger, people used to be like, oh, they used to call me, oh, the against the grain guy, and there he's always the
contrarian,
the contrarian or whatever. But I've never been the guy that goes, nope, not looking at facts. I'm gonna stick to my guns. And like, what do you like? I've never been. I could give you my opinion and tell you things like, I don't like Spider-Man, I didn't like the Batman, and the Eternals was actually a good movie. I could give you that contrarian take, right? But if you tell me, hey, Christopher Nolan directed the Odyssey, there's no way that I'm gonna be like, well, I've heard it the other way. I've heard that it was actually directed by Steven Spielberg, and it's like, what?
That's what they want you to believe, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. So like, that to me is the easiest thing. Like, oh shit, that's cool. Oh really? I didn't know that. Like, oh really? I didn't know that. That's how. Yes. Why is that difficult for you to say? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand, dude.
That's happened a little bit with like younger people, and like it's weird when someone references an event that you were alive for and experienced firsthand, and they get something wrong about it, and it's like, oh, I mean, you're actually. 9/11 happened in the morning, not in the, like something like that, like something so I was like, I was there, dude.
And I get it. Have you seen the clips of young people talk about 9/11?
Yes, they talk about it like it was a movie or something. Like
no.
They don't
but they talk about it like there's clips of multiple like young people just talking about how the 911. The phone call the number that you dial in America, by the way, not even every country, but just in America, not just, but in that 911 they think was invented after 9/11, and then they seriously ask out loud into microphones, what number did they call before 9/11? Like, what number did they call for emergency services? And they're like, I don't think there was a phone number. They really say that shit out loud. They think that 9/11, that 911 is a tribute to 9/11.
I don't know.
I watched that clip and nothing made me feel so old. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know.
But here's the thing. We have to acknowledge that, like, that is the way that, like, we were talking about, like, culture is just gossip over time. Like, if enough people tell you that black people are less than white people, that's just one guy talk. But over time, that becomes this huge thing. Like, when we were talking about Latino culture of like the machista Latino culture. Well, that's just how we are. It's like, no, that's just how we've been saying that for however long. Yes, there's evidence to support it, but that doesn't mean it has to be that way. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's you're
And
not
that's where
committed
people
to
and
it.
that's where people come up with well, I've heard it differently. Well, that's not what I heard.
Yeah. And it's like, well, that's not what I heard. And it's like, oh, guys, I don't know how to explain to you that certain like like I'm a science guy. I will always be a science guy. I don't believe in magic. I do believe in the belief in magic. Like people do amazing things that they believe that God isn't, that we have God's real as a literary character, people and as a religious leader and all that stuff. I'm giving my opinion. I'm giving my opinion.
I know. I like to believe in both. I'm giving my opinion too. I'm not saying I like to believe in both.
That is a fact. Those things are true. Those things are factually. People will base their entire lives around this book and this character and all of that stuff. Like there's that's a real thing. So I was having this conversation.
I find it weird when people make their whole personality any one thing.
Yeah.
I find that
I'm
weird.
all about this now. Yeah. Someone said that, ever since I shaved my head, that's all I talk about. Like I'm about like a personality. I'm like, oh, well, I'm adjusting to a new way of life. I think I don't have to, I'm positive about it. I don't have to I like that. I don't have to worry about if the wind blew my comb over. You know what I mean? Like, I like that. It's very easy. Right. And I'm like, and then when I grew the beard out, people are like, oh, you only care about you're just a beard guy now. And I'm like, I mean, it's happening to me right now. I'm not saying I'm going to be a beard guy forever, but we can talk about it. But then there are times when people are like, oh, you're science people. And I'm like, okay, hold on a second. We have to have a different approach to this. Like, oh, you're making your entire personality about only believing in science. It's like, okay, how do I have this conversation where it's like, I
don't like when people make their whole personality about facts and truth. Ugh.
Yeah. Freedom of Yolanda said freedom of no religion. I don't necessarily want religions to go. I'm anti. How do I say this? Can
you be anti-religion? And this is gonna sound corny as shit, but can you be anti-religion but pro-spirituality? Like, I think that's a thing.
Okay.
Right? That's it.
We're gonna come full circle on Project Hail Mary, right? Project Hail Mary is a lovely movie about the spirituality of being alive. Like the mystery of consciousness is still present. I love that idea because, like we said, science is all about, we want to be proven wrong. Science, I say we like I'm a scientist, but you know what? Anybody can be a scientist. It's a methodology about how you go through life observing things. You come up with a hypothesis and you try to experiment to disprove it, right? Not to prove it.
Mark Wahlberg was an inventor in the Transformer movie, so
anything is possible. But what I'm getting at is, okay, if you, what I'll say is this. It's a methodology, right? Have you ever seen how conservative people search on Google? They don't search. They don't search the thing. They will search.
Oh, they don't search the question.
Support.
They search the answer.
Search the answer they want.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The opposite is true for science. You want
and then
to
they
be
get
disproven.
mad, and then they think that the truth is they think, oh, the media is against us because there's not a lot of real research to prove my point right. And it's like, but that's not the whole point. The point of research is not to prove your point right. Yeah.
You should probably like again, oh man, I'm wrong. I should stop arguing this point because I realize that I'm wrong, and it would be a benefit to myself and the others around me for them to know that I'm capable of saying, my bad. What's the right answer?
Have you ever seen the clip of that quote unquote scientist, flat earther? Like in real time, figure out, like see that he's fucking wrong.
Yes.
I don't know. I just seen that one clip. I seen that one clip where he was like, if he poked a hole through a cue cord or a piece of wood or whatever the fuck it was. And And this would prove that it's a flat Earth and there's no light coming through. And it's like, huh? Well, if it wasn't, and then he lowers it down a certain degree, whatever, like 5 degrees or whatever, and he goes, if we see light here, and boom, you see the light go through, and he's like, he just proved that the Earth is curved. But he just stopped himself in the middle of the thing. It's so funny. There you go.
It's like the first one that popped up.
If you're seeing through this hole, through the next hole,
Perfect experiment.
and seeing the light board or 17 feet off the water, the Earth is flat.
Physical evidence.
If he's holding it up at 23 feet high and we're seeing the light, well, that's because the Earth's curved. So I should only be able to see it when it's at 17 feet. Okay, go ahead and drive down there, Enrique. You're going to hold the light there. Enrique, how high is your light?
17 feet.
I mean,
Look at his brain.
We don't see you, Enrique.
Yeah.
Lift up your light way above your head.
Cling.
Interesting.
Interesting.
He's like, huh.
You can see like the wheels turning. But the thing that would make my life better is that when they get that,
God damn it, Enrique, we can't see the light. God damn it, Enrique, we can't see the light.
Still nothing, Enrique. Are you sure? I mean, but my point being is that the second you get that, as the second you get that, it should your goal, like, because you can see him trying to figure out a way to justify his answer.
Yes,
still in his mind.
Yes.
It's like, hey, how about, I'm wrong about something. It shows more intelligence that I accept. I literally did the experiment myself with light beams and lasers. Like, you cannot get more, like hey, you saw it. Like when they went to Antarctica, that the sun never touched.
I want to do that sketch. I want to do the sketch where he's doing that same thing, and then he goes, Enrique, I can't see anything. And then raise it above your head, and he does it, and he goes, huh? And then the next scene is like, well, Enrique got deported. And just fucking, he's just making a conservative, like, Enrique got deported. Just a cut to Enrique got deported. We didn't, we can't trust any of the things that he's done with the experiment because he was illegal, and just make that because you know how conservatives turn everything into immigration. Everything.
Enrique, how can we really trust somebody named Enrique?
Exactly.
The irony, of course, being that like the whole thing is a grip. You watch that documentary, the whole thing is all about personality, and you get ego, and you get famous, and it's just influencer culture trying to justify. Like, anytime, here's like, I would make a general statement. If an influencer is telling you something is bad, look on their page to see if they're selling you the solution. Right?
Good point.
If they're if anybody's trying to sell you something, it's like the thing is that we're old enough to remember those infomercials with that Asian dude on a yacht with girls in bikinis. You remember that guy?
Yeah.
That he was trying to sell. If he was doing it and making money at it, you will never hear from these people. There's a reason you don't know who hedge fund managers are. There's a reason. The real money people.
I got to be honest with you, Mike. I'm 44 years old, and I say this wholeheartedly. I'm not trying to make funny. I'm being honest. I don't know what a hedge fund is. I still don't know what that is. I hear that all the time. I don't know what a hedge fund is. I don't know what they do. I know they're rich. I know they make money. I don't know what the fuck they do. People are like, hedge fund this and hedge fund that. I'm like, oh yeah, fucking talk about. Like, that's how financially illiterate I am, that I don't know what a fucking hedge fund is. And I'm glad that we stopped talking about NFTs. NFTs? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm glad at this point. That's a great point. At this point, I'm too afraid to ask somebody like, "Hey, what's a hedge fund?" Because they're gonna be like, "What the fuck? How old are you?"
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
They don't teach you that in high school, bro. They don't fucking teach you that in high school. And
would you have paid attention if they did?
I wasn't in that.
I wasn't.
If they did,
I wasn't paying attention.
I wasn't in that class. So. Yeah. But yeah, man, I don't know. That's how dumb I am. That's how broke I am. That's how poor I am. I don't even know what a hedge fund is, much less what a hedge fund guy does. I just know that they make money.
And those are the guys. A hedge fund is just rich people putting all their money together and letting some guy choose the investments to manipulate market. It's literally just money laundering for rich people in a different way. It's all
because I remember hearing about hedge funds. I remember hearing about hedge funds when the GameStop stock went up, right? Like
Yeah.
the hedge fund guys were going crazy, and I was like, yeah,
Sure, yeah. Funds
Sure, yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
I know GameStop. I know GameStop. I know that. I know that word.
I've been there. That's a real place.
Right.
Now it's like all the things that you like. You're like a dog when they hear their favorite. You're like a dog when they hear their favorite words. Like they don't understand anything, but all of us, you could just be giving a fucking the Shakespeare speech, but you say the word chicken, and you're like, oh yeah, I get it. Park. What's that? Yeah, you want to go for a ride in the car? The car?
Car.
Oh yeah. I get it. I'm in. Put me in there, coach. Let's enough about these sad realities of not having enough money to know what a hedge fund is, and or people just being wrong all the time. Because I feel like I might be wrong about how much I'm going to enjoy this movie. Let's talk about Street Fighter.
Dude, it seems like a fun movie, man. The trailer
they announced this thing. Let me see. Let me reset it. Let's see what we get. Come on, load.
Who are you? I know what you're capable of. Show me.
So Ryu's a prisoner. That's pretty good.
So, I do not wish to fight you. Then you die. Okay? I want you. Oh, okay.
Now, that looked fun as hell.
That looks fun, man.
That looks fun
fun.
as hell. Good or bad is not my job anymore.
And Mortal Kombat 2 was really fun. That was a fucking great movie, and I enjoyed the fuck out of that. I'm like, this looks fun too.
This looks fun. I thought I was again. I will never forget our experience at Fan 4 Stick, and I use that as a reference all the time. We went in there, everybody's talked so much shit about that movie. We went in there, was like, yes, it's fine. Who cares?
Fun. It was fun. It was a good movie. It was fun.
I also Jason Momoa. I know why he's in this because he's a name, but also like, we don't have to put him in everything. He just happens to be like a solid Blanca. At first, I was like, why do we got to put this guy? Just is multi-ethnic enough to be everything, so they just throw him. He's a Brazilian now, whatever.
Yeah.
What I'll say is that still looks fun. He's playing a jungle monster guy. Sure, I'm in. Yeah, whatever.
It made me. It did. And you and I have done the Kick Flicks episode on the Street Fighter, the Van Damme Street Fighter movie. Yeah. Man, that Blanco was hot trash. That Blanco was so bad.
So bad.
But for years, I've always said like that Blanca was trash. However, I was like, I don't think you should have put Blanca in the game to begin with. I think because there's no way of making that look good. There's no way of making that character look good in a live action format.
Yeah.
And then now, I mean, if you're gonna go with the ridiculous, this looked fucking ridiculous. And I say that with a positive. I say that with a positive, with a positive.
Ridiculous thumbs up. Ridiculous good. This looks ridiculous. Yeah, it looked
like it looked like they leaned into the ridiculous. Like it's a big green monster. It's gonna be his CGI character. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. What I'll say is, I think this is the perfect example of. Hold on. Why is this so big? This is a perfect example of the Surf Dracula tweet. I think about this tweet almost daily. Back in the day, if you did a TV show called Surf Dracula, you'd see that fool surfing every week in new adventures But in the streaming era, the entire first season got to be a long ass flashback to how he got the surfboard until you finally see him surf for 5 minutes in the finale. Okay. I think about Surf Dracula all the time. Perfect example is the originals, that Blanca that you're talking about, that whole Street Fighter movie. Only at the end do they get into the costumes and do the things that were in Street Fighter, right? This Blanca in this thing literally rolled across the screen, shot lightning, and was doing Blanca things. He is Surf Dracula-ing.
Which is hilarious to me. Like that. So I'll get to the Surf Dracula in a minute, but that part of him like being so powerful, I'm like, why? How he would not be in prison? This is a thing.
It's for fun at this
they're
point.
Literally showing you. They're literally showing you him destroying the cages. The fucking he would. You're showing us that the cage that you have decided to put him in cannot contain him, so he would not be in prison. So. Again, maybe there's context that we're not seeing. This is a 60-second clip. So maybe there's context that in the movie they'll show us that maybe he's not a prisoner. Maybe they just bring him to the prison just to, fuck people up and that's his thing. Who knows? I don't know. Whatever. I heard you guys. Yes. I heard you guys talk about the Surf Dracula thing on an episode that I wasn't on. Right. And I get what you're saying. I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't get that it's a bad thing. If it's
done right. I love the first season of Daredevil, but to be fair, he's not in the costume until the very end. He's doing Daredevil-y type stuff, and it's a good show. It's a little slow for that.
He's surfing, and he's a vampire, but he's not.
Surf Dracula yet. Yeah. The idea, he hasn't. They haven't said the name, but in this one, I have it here like looping in the background. Oops. They're showing him do a kick that he does in the game. So I think we've come full pendulum swing on Surf Dracula, where like when they made Andor, where it was like, hey, by the way, Star Wars is actually a whole thing, anti-fascism, guerrilla, all about resistance against the Empire. Like, let's just lean into it. And people loved it because it was done well and it was done with intent. This looks fun as hell because it's like, hey, man, if you want Street Fighter, we'll give you fucking Street Fighter. Not only that, it's going to look like Street Fighter, the Street Fighter because that was a thing in the early 2000s, and they just came around full circle with the X-Men, where in the original X-Men movie, like when Wolverine's suiting up and then Cyclops is like, what were you expecting, yellow spandex? And it's like, yeah kind of. You can just give us the thing that you want.
But I remember thinking to myself when in 2000 when X-Men came out, I'm like, the yellow spandex is not gonna work live action. It's gonna look ridiculous. It's gonna look campy. It's gonna look, and I think I'm right. I think the reason why we are now accepting of the yellow spandex in Deadpool and Wolverine is because we got so much 20 years of black leather suits.
Yes,
and so now we're just ready for something. But I think we needed the black leather suits in order to fully embrace the yellow spandex on the screen, because I think if we would have gotten that off the rip in the year 2000, we would have been like, bleh, it's fucking bombed. Yeah. It would have been campy. It would have been too cheesy. It would have been, I don't think it would have made the impact that it did financially as far as spawning 7 movies and all that. Like, I don't know, man.
There was a Matrix-y vibe to everything at a certain point.
Yeah. And I think that the reason we're able to now like embrace the bright colors is because we've had 2.5 decades of black suits, and okay, now we could do something different. But I think that was needed. Going back to the Surf Ninja thing, there's a comment on some.
It's actually Surf Dracula, but Surf Ninjas was also great.
Surf Ninjas actually followed the Surf Dracula fucking format.
They did the whole time. If they were to reboot Surf Ninjas, it would be like little kid. They would start them as babies, and then the last 3 seconds would be them surfing and.
There was a podcast creator that posted this, and I was vehemently disagree with him, where he talked about that he's tired of the cliche of the superhero cliche of them suiting up only at the end to make this big reveal, like look at me in the suit.
Yeah,
And he gave Supergirl as an example, but he said there was other movies where every movie basically is like you don't see them in the suit, and then the last half hour is when the suit comes out and blah blah blah. And he's tired of that cliche, is what he says. He's tired of that.
Got it.
And I think I disagreed with him. I was like, this is a bad take, man. This is a bad take. Like, you could have both. You could have the Superman, the 2025 Superman. He's in the suit the whole time, right? Literally, the very first scene of the movie is him in the suit, and that's fine. And you could have that. And then you could also have. It depends on the story. Like the story of Supergirl is that she was reluctant. She didn't want to be a superhero. She doesn't want to be. She just wants to get drunk and fucked up because she's depressed because her whole
It's a
family
trauma
civilization
story.
would-
It's a PTSD
yeah,
story.
It's a trauma. Yeah. So all of that, I said they did it. I think Supergirl did it really well. And he's like, it doesn't matter how well you do it. I'm tired of it. And I was like, I think this is a bad take on your part. I replied to him. I go, yeah, I heard what you said. This is a bad take on your part. I go, if you're complaining about movies not doing it well, okay, if you want to point to some movies that don't do it well, that whatever, and you give examples of how you do the, for the lack of a better phrase, the surf Dracula, if you don't do it well, that's fine. I get that. But there are good ways of doing everything and there are bad ways of doing everything. And I think to lump everything into like every time they do this is bad. It's like, no, it's not. Daredevil was great when they fucking surf Dracula you.
There literally needs to be nuance in the way that we talk about it. But that's the whole thing. The nuance doesn't get clicks, and no everyone's like
right.
Nobody.
And again, and for the sake of the joke, because that tweet was a joke. That's funny. It's a funny thing. They show you the whole season. You're fucking. He's learning how to surf the whole season.
It's also an old tweet. It came out a long time. It was from 2000. It was from 2021. So it's like things have changed since then.
It's still funny. But I think to go into this is my shot at that guy because I really did dislike that take. I really fucking dislike that take, and I was just like, this is a bad take, man. I mean, like, if you do it right, it's fun. Like you could call it a cliche, you could call it whatever, but if you do it right for right reasons, if you write it into the story well, I don't, you know what I mean? Again, and I'm not even defending it because it's Supergirl. I'm defending it because it was done well with Supergirl. Again, there's other things in Supergirl that I don't like. I think Lobo's completely fucking useless. I think you didn't need him at all. But
don't need Jason Momoa in everything. Put him where he belongs, but don't put him where he doesn't. You know, it's like a.
I think it's one of those things where they just with Lobo specifically with Supergirl. I think it's one of those things where they're just implanting the seed that's gonna grow later on. It's gonna bear fruit later on. I think they're just implanting the seed now.
Going back full circle to San Diego Comic-Con, that's what fucked up the MCU. Where at a certain point there was the running meme of like. The post-credit scene is just somebody comes out, hey, my name is Dildo Baggins. And people are like, oh my God, that's the guy from the thing. And it's like,
Did you see Dildo Baggins?
Did you see Dildo Baggins at the end of the Eternals? It's like, what? Why? And then it's like, now I have to, like, they introduced, what's that guy's name? Harry Styles. He comes out, and there's another guy. And then they just like, you know, it feels so like, and then I think Wakanda Forever, the Black Panther 2 was a bit egregious with like, and here's this Iron Man suit, and here's Ironheart, and here's this other thing, so that it's like,
but Ironheart, they gave us the Ironheart show like pretty relatively quickly afterwards.
But even then, it's like, oh, is she only there for the Ironheart show promotion? She didn't need to be there. What's the name of when they're in the blue? The Dora Milaje.
I don't know, man. I think the Ironheart part of that story, I think was actually needed because of the fact that the whole story is based upon they're trying to find a vibranium, and they're trying to kill this girl because she found a vibranium. She created a vibranium finder,
which would take them to. I get it. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I'm just saying the question is that relevant to the story? Like, again, they're introducing Namor, they're introducing all of these other things, the mutant, like everything's when they introduce, you know, like tell me my one story, and then if it happens to be in the same world as something else, something like Skeleton Crew. Did you watch Skeleton Crew, that Star Wars show?
No.
Fun as hell. It has some like Jedi vibes to it. It's like Goonies in space. It's like Goonies in Star Wars, right? Solid. Then there's like tell me a genre story in the thing in the world that already exists. That means you don't have to connect everything. It just means that we know the rules of the world already. You could just jump in. You know what I mean?
Right. It's like when we saw E.T. in episode 1. We're like, okay.
Funny.
That's
okay.
it,
But it's not important to the story, like it's whatever.
And they didn't give us a whole
meme.
fucking background. They didn't give us a whole background about E.T. We're like, this motherfucker, man. He's finally back. This guy, he disappeared for 2 weeks, and they made him a senator.
Yeah, there's a few tweets that live
I
on
love
in
the
my
idea
mind.
of the. I love the idea of us creating a fucking backstory in Star Wars.
Bro,
for
we
E.T.
are so late to that party. So there's a whole thing called Glub Shido, where they're like someone could point, oh, look at this funny little alien at the back. Someone who's never seen Star Wars would be like, oh, that's a funny little alien in the back. And someone could be like, actually, that's Glub Shido. He's the third ranking family member in this planet. And he actually was, and it's true, because there is literally something called Wikipedia, and every fucking thing has a story, because that's the vibe they've created. That the world is layered. Everybody's. So it's like, it's the Dildo Baggins of Star Wars is Glub Shido, which is a crazy sentence to say.
Dildo Baggins is such a funny fucking character name.
Anyway, the point being is that there's a lot of to bring it around full circle, I want things to be good. I want to enjoy my time with things. Like San Diego Comic-Con, all the announcements, I was like, yeah, okay. Nothing really blew me away except for Spaceballs 2.
I thought
Spaceballs 2 was really funny. I hope it's good.
I can't wait for phase 27 of Spaceballs. Oh, it's gonna be good.
That's gonna be so good.
Did you see what
they announced? Yeah, they did the map of basically making fun of the whole thing, where it's like, of course come on, man, it's so silly. But and to bring it all around, of like, we've created this environment where everybody thinks that everything is like fine. Nothing gets you excited anymore, because it's all about grinding the most profit out of it. So everything is kind of mid.
I like the announcements, man. I like Gene Deadpool was fucking fantastic.
When he came out,
fun.
Yeah.
He was good, man. I had fun with it. I didn't. Again, I don't know. I also enjoyed the trailer for was it Matchbox? Did you see that trailer for that?
Oh, that looked pretty cool. Again, it's
Yeah.
hard to take the corporate synergy out of it, but it looked like, again, I'm trying to separate my brain. Remember, we were talking about comedian, the bit versus how it's being received.
Yeah.
I'm trying to separate my anti-capitalist fighting corporate propaganda for billionaires from the let me just experience this thing and have a good time. I'm trying. It's hard for me to do that, but I'm trying.
Just have a good time, man. Just have a good time.
I know.
It's Matchbox. It's Matchbox cars. Hey.
It's Matchbox.
It's Jessica Biel.
But come on. Corporate entities investing in AI to destroy the world's water supply, and flock cameras, and all of it's connected,
but also,
and blah, blah, blah.
But also He-Man. All right,
Anyway.
I gotta get going.
Enjoy. You're doing a show. Anything you want to promote?
Did we hit the topics? I can't see because
we did. San Diego Comic-Con with Jake Paul being a fucking come pinga, and WUBro. We reacted to the Street Fighter thing. It looks fun as hell. I'm happy about it. There will be more to come. You can follow us at WUBro Pod on all social media platforms. You can follow at Mike Mercadal, at Nary Saenz. And keep an eye out for Mike Valdez's commercials. The dude is part of corporate propaganda. We support it. We support it.
He is killing it, man.
He is crushing.
I'm very happy for him. Very happy for him.
Very happy
crushing.
For him. Neri, send us out.
All right, man. Thank you guys for checking us out. And that's how winning is done.
Yatta!